Morning Math 20s. This lesson is out of chapter 2 at the beginning of lesson 2.2, trig ratios of any angle. It's our first video. We're going to emphasize two big ideas here, the reference angle and the cast rule. So the reference angle was something we learned about in 2.1. It's always the angle between the terminal arm of an angle and the x-axis. And then the cast rule is a bit of a new idea, so I'll talk about that really quickly now. Cast rule, it just looks like this, the four quadrants, CAST as labeled here, and it just tells you what's positive where. So all the trig ratios are positive in quadrant 1, sine is the only one positive in quadrant 2, tan only in positive in quadrant 3, and cos in quadrant 4. And I do want to remind you of the special triangles we went through in the last video. So we've got our exact values for sine cos tan of 30, sine cos tan of 60, sine cos tan of 45. We're going to use those to answer our question here. So our question for this example is draw 210 degrees in standard position. So that hopefully is a review. We start with the initial arm on the positive x-axis. We rotate in a positive direction and we get to 210 degrees, which puts us somewhere in quadrant 3. Next, we're asked to find the reference angle. So finding the reference angle just means saying, well, how far is it from that terminal arm to the x-axis? And so because 210 is 30 degrees past 180, the answer to that is 30 degrees. This is actually just a 30-degree angle. It's just drawn in a different quadrant. So when we're asked then to find exact values for sine of 210, cos of 210, tan of 210, I don't need to use a calculator as long as I understand that this is really just a 30-degree angle. 30 degrees, I already knew the ratios for 30 degrees. That sine was a half. My calculator is happy to give me that. But the cos is root 3 over 2 and tan is root 3 over 3. Calculator would give decimals for those, so I wouldn't be able to do exact values. Now, if I have my special triangles and I remember my cast rule says, well, in quadrant 3, where 210 degrees terminates, the only thing positive should be 10. So if I just steal these exact numbers and put negative signs in front of two of them, we're done. Sine of 210 is negative a half. Again, the calculator will confirm that. Punch in sine of 210 right now in degree mode and you'll get negative 0.5, negative a half. But cos of 210 is negative root 3 over 2. And tan of 210 is positive root 3 over 3. So you still can do sine, cos, and tan of any angle. Doesn't have to be an angle that fits into a right triangle, as long as you can find out what's its reference angle, what quadrant does it end up in, how does that cast rule work, what's positive, what's negative. So in this particular quadrant, only tan is positive, the other two get to be negative.